How can you get your ex back if she has blocked you on her phone, on WhatsApp, or social media? If you tell someone that your ex has blocked you, they're pretty much always going to say things like, oh, just let her go, it's over, leave her alone, you can't do anything about it, just wait, maybe one day she'll unblock you, and maybe one day she'll come back to you. As you would most likely agree, it's pretty annoying to hear that sort of thing when you want to get your ex back now or very quickly. So, how can you do it? How can you get your ex back if she has blocked you? Number one, understand the real reason why she has blocked you. When a guy gets blocked by his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, pretty much everyone assumes that it's his fault. Sometimes it is, but sometimes a woman blocks a guy for other reasons. For example, here are some common reasons why a woman will block her ex after a breakup. She knows that he could attract her back into a relationship, so she is trying to avoid him. This often happens when a guy is very confident and he knows how to attract women, and the woman knows that she can fall for his charm. He can seduce her back into a relationship. So she's trying to do the old out of sight, out of mind thing. Keep him out of her life and try not to be focusing on him and try to move on. The next example, she is seeing someone new and doesn't want her ex interfering or finding out. Some women have a replacement guy ready to go before they break up with their boyfriend or husband. It's actually pretty common. So sometimes a woman will block her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband because she doesn't want him to interfere with her new relationship and mess it up by getting angry at the guy or constantly texting her or calling her, or she doesn't actually want him to find out. She doesn't want to have to deal with the drama of him contacting her and asking her why and trying to get another chance with her. She just wants to start dating the new guy, see how she feels, and if she doesn't want to stay with the new guy, she can then unblock her ex and open back up to him if she wants to. Another example, he was being needy, aggressive, or argumentative. Next example, he wouldn't stop texting or calling her to try and work things out. He still doesn't understand how to attract her in the ways that she really wants. She doesn't want him posting anything on her social media, which then might embarrass her in front of her friends, family, or co-workers. And finally, she did it to test him. The final reason there is actually a very common reason why a woman will block her ex after a breakup. She wants to see how he will react. Will he get angry? Will he start begging and pleading with her? Will he use the only method of communication that is left for him, for example, email, to constantly send her emails or to pour his heart out via email? Will he panic and show up at her workplace or at her home? Will he lose control of his emotions? She wants to test him to see how he will react. Over the years, what I've found is that in cases where a woman has blocked her ex to test him, she will usually unblock him within a few days or up to a couple of weeks. In most cases, a guy won't need to wait any longer than that, and he'll find that his ex unblocks him. What she may do then is text him to see how he is going to react now, or she might just unblock him and see if he contacts her. She wants to see when he contacts her that he is being confident, he's calm, and he's in control of his emotions. If he contacts her and he's panicking or he's trying to suck up to her, then she's going to lose respect and attraction for him, and she may block him again. Okay, so with this first tip, it's important that you understand the real reason why she has blocked you. If your ex has blocked you because she thinks that you're easily going to be able to re-attract her and get her back, then getting her back is actually going to be pretty easy for you. When you can communicate with her again, interact with her, make her feel attracted, meet up with her, hook up with her sexually, and get her back. So those are the easier type of cases. A more challenging type of case is where a woman has blocked her ex-guy and she doesn't feel attracted to him anymore. She's not secretly in love with him, she's not secretly hoping that they get back, and she's hoping to move on. She doesn't want to get back with him at all. If that applies to you, then you really need to watch tip number 2. Tip number 2, before attempting to contact her, you must change your communication style. When you get your ex to unblock you, or when she unblocks you herself, you have to use a different communication style with her. If you use the same old communication style that turned her off in the first place and led to you getting dumped, then she's not going to be turned on and attracted and wanting to communicate with you further. So you need to make sure that you change your communication style with her. Do not use the same approach that you've been using up until this point. You have to talk to her in a different way and text her in a different way. You have to do it differently. Here are some examples. If your communication style has been needy, then you need to change it to be relaxed and easygoing. If you've been too neutral, where you're being boring, plain, and you're not really creating a spark with her, you need to be funny and flirtatious. If you've been angry and argumentative, you need to be relaxed, easygoing, and positive. If you've been too soft, where you've been too much of a nice guy or you've given her too much power when you communicate with her, you need to start being dominant in a loving way. So let's have a look at an example. We'll use the example of a guy who has been neutral and has been a bit boring when he's been communicating with his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. He needs to level up and start being a bit more funny and flirtatious so she can feel a spark with him. In this example, the woman has been missing him during the week that she blocked him. She then unblocks him and sends him a text. She texts him, "Hey, how are you?" And he replies, "Hey ex-girlfriend, I'm good, how about you?" She replies, "Ex-girlfriend, lol, okay then." And he replies, "Okay, let me say that again. Hey pretty ex-girlfriend, how's things?" She then replies with, "LOL, that's better." He then doesn't reply to her last text. Now remember, this is an example where she was missing him during the week that she blocked him. So she actually wants something to happen. She's hoping that there's going to be a bit of a spark between them and she might be able to get him back. As a result, she texts him again. She says, "So, what are you up to today?" And he replies, "Just finished having pizza with some buddies. Delicious. Sorry, I didn't save you a slice." She then replies with, "LOL, no probs. I'm not hungry anyway. Pizza sounds good though." He then replies, "Cool, so when are you taking me out for pizza?" She then replies, "Never, LOL." He then replies, "LOL, okay, no pizza for you then." And she replies with an LOL. He then replies, "Hey, I have to get going now, but I'll give you a call sometime soon to say hi." And she replies, "Okay, have fun." Now, if he has been boring and neutral in the past, and that was one of the main reasons why she broke up with him because there was no spark between them, she's going to feel differently now. She's going to start feeling drawn to him because he's actually able to make her laugh and feel good when he's texting back and forth with her. She then assumes that if they caught up in person, she would probably end up laughing and having a good time with him. So she becomes open to meeting up and actually hopes that he calls her. In this scenario, the guy then calls her the next day. He calls her up and she says, "Hey." And he says, "Hey, so where's my pizza?" And she has a laugh. He then says, "I want a Hawaiian pizza. How about you? What pizza are you getting?" And at that point, she's most likely going to be laughing or she's going to agree with his choice of pizza and say that she wants it too. He can then change the subject because he has gotten her to laugh and he has started the conversation off in a way that is making her feel good. It's not the same old boring, neutral approach that he used to use with her. He's actually able to get her laughing now and create a bit of a spark between them. So he says, "Anyway, so how are you?" He then has a chat with her, gets her to meet up with him, reattracts her at the meetup and gets back with her. Now, it's important to point out that he wouldn't have got that result if he had continued to interact with her in a neutral and boring way. For example, with that first text that she sent him, "Hey, how are you?" Replying in a neutral and boring way would be something like this. He replies, "Hey, I'm good. How are you?" She then replies, "Yeah, good." And he then says, "So, how's work?" She then says, "Good, I suppose." He then says, "Cool, yeah, I've been working hard, just got home now." She then feels bored and loses interest in communicating with him and either stops replying to his messages or blocks him again and tries to move on. So when your ex unblocks you or when you get her to unblock you, make sure that you change your communication style to something that is going to be attractive to her. For example, if one of the reasons why a guy got dumped was that he was too soft with his woman and gave her too much power in the relationship, he needs to change his communication style to show her that he has changed. He doesn't need to tell her that he has changed or that he will change if she gives him another chance. Instead, he just needs to change and allow her to experience it for herself. Allow her to see that she really does feel differently around him now. So, say for example, they catch up and they're walking into a cafe or a restaurant where they're going to sit down and have a chat. If he would normally ask her something like, "Oh, where do you want to sit?" and be soft like that, he needs to show her that he has changed by choosing where they're going to sit. So as they walk into the cafe or restaurant, he needs to just have a look and say, yep, let's go sit over there. And walk over there, sit down, and don't even ask her for her opinion on where to sit. Additionally, if he's sitting down talking to her and he cracks a joke or two but she isn't smiling, he needs to be dominant in a loving way by calling her out on that. He needs to let her see that he doesn't allow her to get away with treating him badly anymore, but he's still being a good guy. He's being dominant, but in a loving way. So if he cracks a joke that is funny and she should really have a smile or have a bit of a laugh, and she would have in the past, he needs to address that. He needs to say something like, come on girl, that was funny. You can at least have a smile. It's okay to smile, It's okay to have a bit of a laugh. We're exes, we're not enemies. So relax. It's okay to have a bit of a laugh. If the guy has been soft in the relationship and gave her too much power, she is going to feel a renewed sense of respect for him at that point. She's also going to feel some attraction for the fact that he is much more confident now. He's dominant, but he's also being a good guy. He's not being an asshole about it. He's not saying, well, why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you laughing? Like, we're not enemies, we're exes. We can talk and have a laugh, He's not losing control of his emotions or whinging like that. He is being dominant, but being loving. So with tip number 2 here, what you need to make sure that you do is change your communication style in a way that is going to be attractive to her. Don't use the same old approach to communication and attraction that turned her off in the relationship and led to you getting dumped. When you do get to interact with her again, make sure that you are using a communication style that is going to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you. If you don't, and you use the same old approach that turned her off, then she's either going to block you again or she's going to tell you that she's not interested and wants you to leave her alone. Now, something important to point out here is that she won't say that sort of thing because it's impossible for you to get her back. She will say that sort of thing if you are using an approach that isn't making her feel attracted. When a woman breaks up with you, it's usually because she doesn't feel enough respect, attraction, and love to justify being in a relationship. You want her back, you feel attraction and love for her, you want to get something happening, but she's not feeling the same way. That's why you need to use an approach to communication that is going to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you. When you do that, the feelings start to become mutual, or at least close to mutual. It starts to feel like a good idea for her to get back with you. Unfortunately, a lot of guys aren't aware of that, so when a guy's woman unblocks him or when he gets her to unblock him, he communicates with her in a way that turns her off or causes her to block him once again. So to make it very clear for you, I'll give you these 3 examples. Number 1, a guy gets unblocked. Then he tries to work things out via text. He discusses the relationship with her. Her guard goes up. She feels stressed or pressured into getting back into a relationship with him, so she stops communicating with him or blocks him again. Another type of guy gets unblocked and uses an unattractive communication style. For example, he goes from being a very confident, cool guy to now being a self-doubting guy who is on his best behavior. Those 2 approaches don't work because with number 1, the woman isn't feeling attracted yet. She doesn't feel like she wants to give him another chance, and he's already trying to discuss the relationship or get another chance with her. As for number 2, the guy isn't using an attractive communication style, so he is killing her motivation to want to get back with him. He's not giving her a reason to want to get back with him, and instead is giving her reasons to continue moving on. So with the 3rd example here, a guy gets unblocked. He then uses a communication style that makes her feel attracted to him. For example, he is being very confident, he's using humor, he's being emotionally masculine and flirting with her to build up sexual tension between them. So make sure that when you get unblocked, you're not trying to work things out via text or suck up to her and be on your best behavior. What you need to do is use an approach to communication that is going to make her feel attracted to you. When she is attracted to you again, she then has a reason to get back with you. Tip number 3. Decide whether or not you are willing to use risky techniques to get yourself unblocked. For example, a woman has blocked her ex on the phone, on WhatsApp, and on Facebook. She unblocks him on her phone and texts him, but he doesn't reply. She waits a couple of days, texts him again, and he still doesn't reply. As a result, she then unblocks him on Facebook to see what's going on. For example, has he moved on with a new girl? That type of approach can work, but it can also backfire. Sometimes a woman will only ever send one text, and if she doesn't get anything back, she will block her guy again and try to move on. One of the main reasons why is that when a woman breaks up with a guy, she's usually in the power position. She usually gets to walk away feeling pretty good about herself. She wasn't the one who got dumped. She broke up with him, he wanted to be with her, but she said it's over and she walked away. So she isn't hurting as much as he is after the breakup. However, if she contacts him and he's not replying to her, she can then start to feel rejected. If she keeps trying to contact him and starts chasing him but he doesn't give her much or anything back, she can feel like she has been the one who got dumped. She has lost him. So rather than putting herself in that situation, a woman will usually not contact her ex at all. She will only be open to getting back with him if he has the courage and the confidence to pursue her. If he is the one who is willing to risk a potential rejection by contacting her and trying to get her back. In other cases, a woman will text once or twice, and if she's not getting any replies or her ex is being cold, she will either block him or just not reply to him anymore, not try to contact him anymore, and she will then begin to move on. She might then try to make herself feel better by going out and hooking up with a new guy or getting on Tinder or some other dating app and lining up a whole load of dates where she can easily kiss new guys and have sex with new guys and make herself feel better. So it's a risky technique to ignore her attempts to contact you. That's otherwise known as the no contact rule. The no contact rule is essentially about not contacting your ex for 30 or 60 days and also not replying to any attempts from her to contact you or interact with you. Other risky techniques include hooking up with other women to make her jealous. That can work, but it can also backfire. Another risky technique is moving on and getting into a new serious relationship and waiting for her to hopefully want you back. Obviously, that's a bit of a risky technique because it can take a lot of time to develop a new relationship, and if she notices that you're happy without her, she'll most likely move on herself and get into a relationship. And finally, another risky technique is not doing anything and just waiting and hoping that she comes back to you for some reason someday. If you're serious about getting your ex back, then you're going to understand why that will be a risky technique. You're going to be essentially doing nothing and just hoping that she doesn't meet any new guys that she finds attractive, and for some reason she unblocks you, she wants you back, and she comes back to you. So you need to decide whether or not you're willing to use risky techniques like that. Risky techniques can work, but they can also backfire. If you want to learn my best techniques that take away the risk and make your ex want to contact you and meet up with you, I recommend that you watch my program, Get Your Ex Back Super System. When you watch the program, you will learn how to get her to unblock you, how to make her want to communicate with you again, how to communicate with her in an attractive way, how to make her feel sexually and romantically attracted to you again, how to make her want to meet up with you, what to say and do at the meetup, how to get her to hug you and kiss you at the meetup, and how to get her to want to hook up again sexually. You will also learn how to keep the relationship back together after you and her have had sex again, how to make her respect you and feel attracted to you and be in love with you again once you're back in a relationship. One final point that I want to make for you in this video is that just because she blocked you, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Sometimes it's the woman overreacting. Sometimes a woman is playing games with her ex, and yes, sometimes a guy has been a pain in the butt and that's why he has gotten blocked. You may have made some communication mistakes with her, you may have stuffed up, but that doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, you have learned a lot since the breakup. You have already become a much better man since the breakup. You're continuing to become a better man each and every day. So don't beat yourself up over the fact that you've been blocked. Don't look at yourself as a guy who is a complete turn-off to your ex and you're a hopeless case and you can't do anything about it and you're just going to have to accept your fate of being dumped and left behind. The fact is, when you interact with her again, you are going to make her feel attracted to you. She is going to feel a spark of attraction, she's going to feel respect, and she's going to feel love for the new you. That might seem impossible to you if your situation is one of those where your ex hates you and doesn't want anything to do with you. But let me tell you, I've heard back from so many guys who have turned their situation around when it seemed hopeless. So you've got to be confident. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in the power of attraction. You've also got to focus on what matters to her, and that is her feelings. Right? Don't try to get her back by telling her how much she means to you and trying to convince her to give you another chance. That doesn't work, especially when you've been blocked. What works is when you interact with her and you focus on making her feel sexually and romantically attracted to you again. You make her have feelings for you. Some guys watching might be thinking, yes, I want to do that, but how am I going to do it if she has blocked me and I can't interact with her? What I've found is that most guys get unblocked, and it usually takes around about a week or two. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, but if a guy wants to speed up the process, that's what the techniques in my program are for. Just to let you know, when I recorded my program, I didn't just record it out of nowhere. What I did is that I coached more than 100 phone coaching clients and helped them get their ex-woman back. In about 20% of the cases, the guy was blocked. So I know all about the blocked situation. I know how difficult it can be. That's why in the program, I explain how to get her to unblock you, how to get her to refriend you on Facebook, how to get her to open up to text you, how to get her to feel happy to be talking to you on the phone, and how to get her to meet up with you. I also then explain what to say to her at the meetup to get her to give you another chance, how to get to the point where she gives you a hug, she gives you a kiss, and she wants to hook up sexually. You can do that. In your situation, you might get unblocked by not doing anything, or you might need to use other techniques to get yourself unblocked. But just know that you can do it. Just because she has blocked you, it doesn't mean that it's over, and it doesn't mean that you can't get her back. Men all over the world get unblocked by their ex-girlfriend or ex-wife and are able to get her back. The way to do it is to make sure that when you do get her to unblock you, or she unblocks you herself, that you use an approach to communication that creates a spark inside of her. She feels attracted to you and starts to feel sparks of love. Don't use an approach to communication that is going to turn her off, such as focusing on trying to fix things between you and her and sort things out and get the relationship back together via text. Alternatively, don't try to suck up to her now by being on your best behavior. Make sure that you are being confident. Make sure that you're interacting with her in a way that is going to create a spark of attraction inside of her. When you do that, you give her a reason to want to communicate with you further, meet up with you, and give you another chance. When you meet up with her, you'll be able to build on her feelings for you and make her really want to get back with you. Make her open up to hugging you, kissing you, having sex with you, and getting back into a relationship with you.